Social issues can be observed across learning environments and schools internationally. Before we begin to address issues of learning and schools, or learning in schools, what concepts describe the social foundations of education? Do they matter? Hello, and welcome to the mini course titled Global and Comparative Education, sponsored by the UC Santa Barbara Orfalea Center for Global and International Studies. My name is Travis, and I'm a PhD candidate in education and research fellow at the Orfalea Center. My research focuses on education policy, policy implementation, and program evaluation. This week, the course will focus on the global social foundations of education. We will focus on sociological concepts used to study global issues in education and methodologies used to compare the social structures, processes, and outcomes of education internationally. The social foundations of education call attention to the overall factors of social quality and the role of education in improving social quality conditions. What social qualities need improvement, and what role does education play in improving them? Readings from this section review concepts related to the social foundations of education and the sociological study of education. We will define which social qualities are impacted and the limitations of considering education alone in improving these social qualities. Considering the limitation of education in improving or solving social issues can provide us with insight towards conversations about poverty, inequality, and social mobility. But what role does education play in improving socially constructed qualities of life? Can education alone improve these conditions of poverty and inequality? Articles focused on the unique relationship between education and social issues such as poverty, inequality, and social mobility find that educational attainment indeed improves conditions for individuals. However, it always depends on individual characteristics because larger social and educational inequalities limit the positive impacts of education. What is the relevant process leading to educational social inequality? What role does education play in the stratification of societies? And how is stratification practiced within educational institutions? The case study of Brazilian higher education provides one account of social stratification across Brazil and across racial groups. This reading highlights the historical role of education policies in ordering institutional processes leading to these racial group inequalities. These authors characterize how institutions of higher education reflect larger stratification processes across societies. Next, how can we think about the structure underlying social relationships and organized processes like stratification? How do these relationships shape education internationally? Shiroma's 2014 article titled in the Journal of Education Policy provides one example of how we can study actors and networks in educational contexts. Network structures explain the individual and social relationships, which are relevant to observing relationships and evaluating their quality within educational contexts. Many other topics originating from sociological foundations have been applied to educational research. Some applied theories, such as relationship quality, social organization, and many more, will be explored later on in the mini course. But how did these concepts help us think about education and social policy solutions to globally connected issues? We might think about the role of actors across networks or processes of stratification within education institutions. What do you think? Next week, we will cover the economics of education. Access the syllabus and research articles on my website. Here, you can also find an active discussion forum for weekly topics. Are you interested in learning more about global and comparative education? Click the links below this video to learn more about course objectives, activities, and requirements. Also, follow me and the UC Santa Barbara Orfalea Center for more information about upcoming sponsored events related to global and comparative education. Thank you, and see you next week.